What's up guys, Kyle with HypertroFit.com, the best place to design your home gym and develop your training program. And today I am finally ready to walk you through the Pit 2.0. Earlier this year, I did a home gym tour in our old house. In March, we moved to this new space and I have been building it up ever since. And now I am ready to take you through everything that we've got. Let's go. Really quick before we get started, I want to thank everybody that watched last week's video and started building their own home gym in GymScape, the free home gym builder app that I put out last week. It's on HypertroFit.com, completely free to use, allows you to drag and drop numerous different manufacturers' equipment directly into your space and see how it all fits together. I've linked my whole gym build that you're going to see in this video in the links below so that you can see all of the equipment, all the links to the equipment, and exactly how I went about building this space. So check those out below, and now let's get on with the tour. If you've watched any videos that I've put out this year, you are very familiar with this angle. This is where I always shoot from, and it's because that's where you get to see most of the equipment. But what I'm going to start with today is the area that you never get to see, which is over to the left here, and this is the cardio mobility area. So this looks quite a bit more empty, and that is completely on purpose. This area is never supposed to be filled up with equipment beyond what we have here. We'll see how long that remains the case, but I really do want to keep this open for mobility work, stretching, and then we have our cardio in the corner. So a couple different treadmills back here, the Bowflex T9, which has been really solid. I didn't want anything special from a workout class standpoint or like a big screen or anything like that, just a standard treadmill that was stable for me to be able to walk and every once in a while do some sprints on, and that's done really well. And next to that is an ACSM treadmill that we've had for years. It used to exist up in my office, but we've moved it down here for the winter so that my wife and I can both walk indoors while it is cold. I have a vibration plate from Life Pro, I think we got from Amazon, that I use regularly for warming up. If you've ever used the really strong vibration plates, I can't remember what the brand is off the top of my head, but you see them in collegiate strength rooms. Power plate, that's what it is. Collegiate strength rooms, professional strength rooms. I got to experience one in college and completely changed how I warmed up. So as soon as I had the space to add one of these in, I did so. It's definitely not on the same level as a power plate, but it gets the job done for warming up. Over here, we have our mobility area with the foam roller, some of the tools that I discussed in my mobility video, and this rep mat, which is amazing, super lightweight and super inviting to get you on the floor and get you doing your mobility work. This Force 6 glute slider, glute ham slider, I can't remember exactly what they call it, is awesome. Really great tool for ab work, hamstring work, and anything that you can think of there. And then moving on, we have a soft plyo box from Rep, the Prime Fitness slant wedge, squat slant wedge at 20 degrees, Titan Fitness landmine jack, and then a bunch of Elite FTS bands hanging on the Titan band holder. And over here, we have the rest of the gym. So we'll do a quick pan to show you everything else. This side you also don't get to see much of, which is where the HVO seated calf sits, and then the glute ham sits as well. The rest of the basement over here is unfinished. This is the sauna, which I think is from Radiant Health. We've had for a few months now and has been amazing. This is an infrared sauna. I'm starting to use it more frequently, trying to get up to around 5 days per week. It goes up to about 150 degrees. I can typically take it for about 20 minutes, but it's been a great addition to what we've got going on down here. So again, glute ham developer in the corner, HVO calf raise. These two will probably eventually be replaced next year. No new plans for equipment this year, but I would imagine that things will look a little bit different on this side at some point next year. So getting into the bread and butter of the pit, our focal point is without a doubt my 6-post Titan X3 rack. I have been with the X3 since the inception of the gym. It was originally an 80-inch 4-post rack, and now we have the full 90-inch 6-post rack. On it we have a bunch of different attachments, mainly from Titan. So we have the sandwich J hooks. I've got their original roller J hooks on the front. We have the safety straps, a landmine attachment from Rogue, the infamous quick slide roller J hooks, which I still do regularly use now that I've taped them up myself. I honestly can't wait for them to finally come out with an updated, properly protected version of those. Still no word on that. If we move up to the top, we have the Prime rotate handles that I manually drilled on myself on the front here. Those have been a regular in my training rotation. We have the Rep Fitness spotter arms, which I only ever pull out to put on the front when I need 2 squat stations. So if my wife and I are training at the same time, we can have someone squatting in the rack and someone squatting on the front of the rack, which is awesome. We've got the chains hanging up from the middle posts, a bunch of different assorted plates, some bumper plates at the bottom, and then just whatever weight plates I was able to pick up during the pandemic era of gym purchasing. Eventually, I would like to acquire a nice complete set that matches, but that will be for another day. We have the OVR speed monitoring, I don't really know what you want to call it, device, which you can hook up to your barbell and monitor your speed output, which is really cool for a number of different training modalities. Beyond that, we've got a couple other attachments up here. This is the Titan X3 adjustable pull-up handles. They're honestly awesome and super affordable. So if you have an X3 rack or anything that these would fit on, significantly cheaper than something like the Prime rotates, and still give you a lot of different options with that. These old handles from Titan, I don't think they sell anymore. You could also use, I originally used them for rotating handle pull-ups, but again, I don't think those are available. But now, as we transition past the rack into the deadlift space and dumbbell area. So you'll notice we've got rolled flooring throughout here, and on the section in the back, I've got additional stall mats. So we've got 3 horse stall mats that are set up back here specifically for deadlifting and for if I ever needed to drop the dumbbells. On the back side of this wall is the barbell collection. So we've got all kinds of stuff ranging from the Kabuki the Kabuki Cadillac bar at the top. Below that is the Hero Olympic bar, which is a really, really nice Olympic bar. It's gray Cerakote, pretty passive knurl. Below that is the Titan Fitness Rackable Easy Curl bar. Then we have the Elite FTS Iron Cowboy Power Bar, super aggressive knurl, very similar to a Texas Power Bar. Below that, the Kabuki Dufflo bar, the Mars bar, and then finally the Titan Fitness Poseidon bar, the Rogue Ohio Deadlift bar, and the Titan Fitness Safety Squat bar. On the floor, we have the Rep Open Trap bar. All of these get a pretty fair amount of use. I would say that from the middle section here, so the power bar down through the deadlift bar, are definitely my most used. These days, I'm pretty much only squatting with the Dufflo bar and occasionally the Mars bar. I rarely ever use a straight bar anymore just because it's so much easier on my shoulders and elbows to use those cambered bars. I've been using the Poseidon bar a ton for benching. I really love the 29mm feel. And then obviously the Rogue deadlift bar is for my deadlifts Occasionally, I'll break out some other stuff depending on what my training has involved in it, but for the most part, those are my bread and butter. Over here, we move on to the 26ers tucked back in the corner, and then my 2 sets of adjustable dumbbells. So I did a video comparing both of these. These are both Pepin dumbbells. So these are the Pepin Super HDs. These I bought straight from Canada back in 2021, 2022. These are adjustable dumbbells that use the spin lock, so kind of like an Iron Master, where you just have to pull the cap out and then screw the plates on. So they're not super fast to adjust, but they go crazy heavy. So the set that I bought, I believe, go up to 155 pounds. You could probably fit even more on there. You could definitely fit more on there if you had the 12.5-pound plates instead of the 10-pound plates that I have here, but those are specifically for if I ever need to go heavier than what the Repins offer, which the Repins go up to 125. I barely ever need more than that, but I do keep them around just in case I want that flexibility. The Repins are, of course, on the Rep adjustable dumbbell stand, which I think is the absolute perfect pairing. I mean, there really isn't anything else that you would want out of that stand. $300. The casters work incredibly well, very easy to move around, and you can also pin them so that they don't move whatsoever. We've got the mirrors back here, which were definitely a project to get up here. I've got my certified training facility from Massonomics hanging directly over those, along with some signatures from Branch Warren and Ronnie Coleman, 2 of my favorite bodybuilders and 2 guys that I actually got to see at the Arnold. Ronnie wasn't competing, but got to see plenty of Branch's competitions. Over here in the corner, we've got a couple things on the floor. So this is the Titan Fitness Hefty Pad on a old Frey Fitness single post bench, which I use for my bench pressing. The Rogue Pritchett Pad, which I use in my chest supported row setup alongside the Exponent Edge jack down there in the corner. And then the wall control over here with all sorts of goodies. On the floor, we've got the deadlift jack and the Cleva jack that I used to use in the old space. On the wall, we have all kinds of different mobility tools, my weightlifting belts, knee sleeves, elbow sleeves, wrist wraps, various types of straps for grip and deadlift work, a bunch of different landmine attachments, dip attachments, things that can be thrown on the rack, some additional aluminum collars that I use specifically for deadlift, and then my jigsaw for massage work. So that will continue to evolve depending on what I'm using. Like I said in my video concerning the landmine attachments, I really don't use the Titan landmine jack or the Titan linebacker pad. So eventually I will get rid of that and find something else to put on this wall. But that is pretty much it for the deadlift and dumbbell area. As we transition back out into the gym, in the back half, we have a number of different machines. So the RitFit Gazelle 3-in-1 leg press hack squat machine right here in front, I have not yet done a review on. This is something that you can probably expect to see next week. I've had this for about 2 months now, so I've started to form some opinions on it. Overall, I think it's a really, really cool piece of equipment, but you'll have to wait to hear my full thoughts on that. We have the Titan Fitness selectorized leg extension leg curl, and of course, a Drink Spotter XL to keep drinks extra safe in the gym. This has been an awesome piece that I highly, highly recommend. I really couldn't expect anything else out of a leg extension leg curl. Super compact and just really nice strength curve, really good stretch at the top of both exercises. Couldn't be happier with that. We have the Temple of Gains Multi-Flight, one of my absolute favorite machines that I've ever used. I bought this one without having ever tried a multi-flight, but just seeing it made me think that I needed it, and using it confirmed that for me. This is amazing for delt work. I also love the pec flies on it. You can get really creative with some other movements, but Temple of Gains really, really nailed this machine. And then finally, in the back here, we have the dual Adonis. This is one of the coolest things that I've ever picked up, and is something that I use every single time that I train. With two Adonises, I have 6 cable attachment points at any given time. So you can see I keep the lat pull down and low row set up on this right side. So I've got my cable attachments here at the bottom, using those prime rotate handles right now. And I actually have to call this out. Bells of Steel just came out with these little connection pieces, which are amazing. So I was originally using something from Amazon that had the force of, it could withstand the force of 1 kilonewton, and these I think are like 7. It's like these can support like 900 pounds, and they're super small, which is amazing, because one of the problems with the prime rotate handles is when you have the swivel carabiners attached to them and then you set it up on the lat pull down, if you're pretty tall, you can't actually get a full stretch. But with those on there from Bells of Steel, it's about as little additional height as you can add to those handles while still providing the swivel. So those have been awesome. I've got a bunch of different other cable attachments over here, which I've done a video discussing. That is on a few more wall control panels. But the Adonis is amazing. So like I said, lat pull down, low row on this side. On the left side, I typically keep the tricep extension and the cable curl set up at all times. And then of course we have both functional trainer trolleys. This with the slingshot shake strap set up on it right now. And then I've got some other D handles and ankle straps and whatnot set up on this if I'm doing both at the same time. We've got my shoes over here, some old Atomic shoes that I used to deadlift in, 2 different pairs of squat shoes, the old Nike Romaleo 2s, which I still love, and then the Tier, I can't remember what the name of those are, I just got those this year, 1-inch heel as opposed to a 3/4 inch heel. Both really, really solid shoes I tend to use when I'm doing front squats, or if I get a wild hair and want to do some Olympic lifts. That's what those are for. Got the clock from Amazon with the seconds on it, so I can keep track of what I'm doing in very specific increments, or if I'm timing something for a client that I'm training down here, that is super useful. A couple different rep fitness medicine balls, an old GHD pad that I now use for sitting on the floor when I'm doing low rows, and then a couple other just tools and things that I keep on the storage rack. Of course, I have the pit banner, and I have my music set up over here. So we've got the KEF Q150 speakers plugged into a Weem amp back here in the corner, on top of a Klipsch, I think it's a 12-inch subwoofer. So this thing can really pump out some serious sound, and when we're training hard down here, it gets plenty of use. We've got the Pegasus seat, of course, set up on the Adonis. Can't go wrong with that. And then a bunch of different other gym banners down here as well. Almost missed my Titan Fitness Titan Series adjustable bench over here on the side. And then I also didn't mention the other Titan bench that I keep back here as well. So 3 separate benches, which I did do a video on as well, if you want to check out those in more depth. And then we've got Branch Warren staring you down as you do your hack squats and leg extensions. So you're not cheaping out of any reps with that. Also, certified training facility flag from Massonomics. Did a lot of work to pass that certification, but we got it done. We've got some crash pads and a bench wedge tucked in out of the way over here. And that is pretty much it. Here's the other angle of the pit that you never really get to see. Oh, and I do have a knockoff TRX strap hanging from that side as well. The floor and the lighting, I will probably do my own video on, but this floor is all rolled rubber. 9 separate rolls to fill out this space. Each one was about 230 pounds rolled up coming down the stairs, which I used this nice little dolly in the corner over there to get them down there. Again, I will definitely do a video on how I did that, because the floor and the lighting were 2 things that I had to make big plans for prior to getting this space set up, because I really wanted this to feel like a proper gym as I built it out. So that is the Pit 2.0. This is probably what it's going to continue to look like throughout the rest of this year, but as I'm sure you would come to expect at this point, you will definitely be seeing some changes as we go into 2026. All right, you made it to the end of the tour. So how much did all of this cost? To be truthful with you, I don't have an exact figure, but what I tried to do is add all of the equipment back into GymScape, see what all of those prices came out to, and give you a ballpark estimate of where we're at. So if we look at the GymScape total, that is coming in at basically $30,000, and I can already think of a few things off the top of my head that are not in there, probably at least $1,000 worth of equipment that's not in there. That also doesn't factor in tax or shipping in some cases, so it very easily could be closer to $35,000-ish. If you count the sauna, we're going to add another $5,000-6,000 on top of that, and then the floor another $5,000-6,000. So realistically, overall, probably in the $40,000 to $45,000 range. Again, including those 2 things. Just the equipment behind me, probably closer to $35,000. This has been something that we've been building up over the last 5 years. It certainly wasn't all purchased at once, but when you really commit to building the home gym and you have the space to do it, it can quickly balloon into a crazy amount of money. Although we obviously use this space regularly, it's part of my business and something that my family is going to be able to use forever to continue to improve their health and fitness. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you again in the next one.